Hi, do you know that your thoughts create your reality? Do you know that where you are today is a function of the predominant and consistent thoughts that you have accommodated or allowed in your life in the past? Do you know that? And do you also know that for you to change your life, the first thing for you to change is your thinking? For you to change your sales, for you to change your life, the first place for you to change is your thinking. So yes, I wrote an article recently today on how to change your reality. So I'm going to be teaching from that article right now. All right. By introduction, I would like for everybody to realize that the subjective world is what creates the objective world. The subjective world is the world of your beliefs and your thinking. The subjective world is the world of your beliefs and it is the world of your thinking. All right. Now, the subjective world is see the subjective world as the raw material or as a recipe. The purpose, the destination of the subjective world is to solidify or objectify itself in the physical world. For everything that you see around you today, including the microphone I'm using to talk to you today, was first a thought in the head of somebody. And then it has now become objectified in our world. It is the same principle. The objective, the subjective is what creates the objective world. That is First Principles 101. Now, if that is the truth, which is the truth, and let me prove it to you even spiritually, God is a spirit, but he created a physical world. Can you see God? Have you ever seen God? God is in the subjective realm, but he created an objective world, a world of objects. This is an object because it occupies space and it occupies time. Did you get that? Your bank account is an object. Did you get that? Great. However, it is the subjective unseen world that creates the objective seen world. Did you get that? Great. So what that means is that if you want to have a great objective world, the starting point is number one, you have to get clear on exactly what you want to create on this physical plane. You know, a lot of people know what they don't want, but they don't know with exactitude what it is that they do want. Because what you want, whether you like it or not, you will manifest. You will manifest it. First step is you have to be abundantly clear with exactitude what it is that you want. If you're not clear about what you want, one of the first ways to get clear on what you want is to scribble it down or write it down. One of the things that helps you to crystallize your thinking is in what you write down. So you've got to be clear about what it is that you want. That's why people tell you, write a vision board. If you can see my wall now, I have the painting of a typewriter. What I want is I want to be one of the greatest writers in the earth, because writing, I earn my living from writing. So this artwork here is essentially a reminder of what is important to me. Did you get that? So clarity is very, very important. After you get clear about what it is that you want, you either write down what you want for clarity, or you get an object that relates to what it is that you want. You get that? When I wanted to buy a property, right? Before I got the property, I got a picture of the property and made it my screensaver for a while. All right, I got a key of the house, so that you need something that objectifies what it is that you want. Did you get that? It gives you clarity. The second thing for you to manifest your reality is for you to visualize it. It is important that you visualize your future. It is important because your brain and my brain cannot tell the difference between an objective reality or a true reality. Your brain cannot tell the difference between what you imagine or what you are fully experiencing. Case in point, if somebody offended you yesterday or 3 days ago or 1 week ago or 1 month ago, Now, the incident or the experience in space-time has happened and gone. However, if you recall or remember that experience, what happens to you immediately? You start getting angry. You start getting upset. Because as far as your brain is concerned, your brain thinks that the experience is just taking place. Notice if you are watching a movie and you get emotional, you cry. Why are you crying? Your brain thinks that that movie is real. That is the reason why you are crying. It doesn't know the difference. When they are slapping the man in the movie or they are slapping the lady in the movie, you move your body like this. You feel it. It is as if it is happening. You know that this is a movie, but you cry. You know that this is a movie, but you get emotional. Why? Because your brain can't tell the difference between an imagined experience or a real experience. So what it means is that when you visualize what it is that you want to accomplish, your brain thinks that you have already accomplished it. It thinks that you have already accomplished it. Now, what does that? What is it? It begins to create a pathway from where you are to where you want to be. How does it create a pathway? You start attracting into your life the people, the events, and the circumstances that will give material equivalent to what you have visualized. If you are getting value from this, why don't you take a screenshot? Tell your friends to join. Share this and say, this guy is sharing some serious stuff in here. This guy is sharing some very, very important stuff in here. All right. So you visualize it. I encourage people to visualize whatever they want every single day. See, when I woke up this morning, the first thing I did is sat down in my chair. This is my studio. This is my study. I have a special chair. I just sit down and I visualize the kind of life I want and the quality of life that I want. It is very, 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 very important. Whatever you want also wants you. Anything you want is also wanting you. You get that? Great. Number 3, you have to persist in the belief. I say maintain the assumption that your hopes have been fulfilled, even if your senses suggest otherwise. Consistency in belief is key. You see what I said? Maintain. I said maintain the assumption that your hopes have already been fulfilled, even if your senses are trying to deny the reality of what you're talking about. Maintain it. Lock your attention on it. Be stubborn about it. Some people are stubborn about the wrong thing. You need to be stubborn about the assumption that your dream has been fulfilled. Because really and truly, there is nothing that God is going to do in you. Nothing. Everything in the future is already available. Everything you need is already available. Nothing will be created new because of you. You want a new house, it's already available. You want money. The money you need has already been printed. Do you know that? The money you need has already been printed. You just need to go and get yours. I don't think you heard me. I will say it again. I will repeat myself. The money you need has already been printed. All you need to know is to go out there and figure out how you can get your portion of it. Did you get that? All right. I hope you're enjoying this. This episode of the Paul Fo podcast was brought to you by me, Paul Fo. And the business that brings is that I am doing a 5-day make sales challenge. From the 1st to the 5th of October, I'm doing a 5-day make sales challenge. It's a webinar. For 5 days, I will teach a lesson like this, and then I'll give you an assignment to go and do. It's like a coaching program, all right? 5 days. The last time I did was in July 1st to July 5th. A lady sold a house on day 2. Her name is Noella Martins. Off the back of what I taught them, she sold a house on day 2 of that class. All right. And day 3 of I think day 5 of the class, I will be teaching the spiritual principles that create sales. And this is one of the modules. The spiritual principles that create sales. Did you get that? So you want to attend that class? The link is in my Instagram bio if you are watching this on Instagram. If you are watching this on YouTube, the registration link is underneath the YouTube video. All right. If you are listening to this on Spotify, the link is in the show notes. Also, if you are listening to this on Spotify, please click on the subscribe button. Just click on the subscribe button because I'm begging you, because it helps me grow and it helps me get bigger guests in the show. If you're watching this on YouTube, click on the subscribe button as well. It helps us grow as well. All right. And if you're watching this on Instagram, follow if you're not following. Join the 5-day make sales challenge if you have not done that already. Click on the link on my Instagram bio to join us. So let's continue. Next, speak your dreams into reality. You've got to speak the dream into reality. Why? Because words have power. You know, I was reading the book of Genesis chapter 45, from 45 to like 49 today. When Jacob was blessing his children, he used words to bless them, because words have power. You are where you are today because of the words that you have spoken about your life. It's very, very important. I'll give you an example. So I live in England, right? I live here in England with my wife and children. I run my own business here in England. I don't do a 9-to-5 job. Then there's nothing wrong with that, but that's what I was doing in Nigeria before I moved my family here. How do I get jobs? People ask me, so how do you get speaking engagement? Is this principles? You know what I do? Every morning I write it down. I declare it that I get sales trainings from companies and individuals. All right, so I say it over and over and over and over again, and they are coming. I'm literally booked from now to the end of the year. I'm booked from now to the end of this year, because words have power. What you say is what you get. Be careful what you say. Did you get that? All right. Number 5, limit who you share your goals with. Some people have bad energy. I'm telling you. Limit who you share your goals with. How many of you have ever experienced this before? If you notice this pattern, please be careful of it. There are certain people especially in your family, that if you share your goals with them, usually those goals don't come to pass. You better you share it after it has happened. Can I get a witness here? And some of you, your problem is that you talk too early. You abort the baby of your goals too early by saying it to the wrong people. And when you are saying it to the wrong people, spiritually, you don't even have the energy to block yourself when they transfer those negative energies your way. And if you don't say it, they don't know it. If you don't say it, the devil doesn't even know it. Yes, there are only 2 people that know about your dreams, you and your God. The devil doesn't know it. He doesn't know it. He doesn't even know it. Don't share your goals with certain people. Their energy is very, very negative. And we live in a world of frequency and energy. Did you get that? Number 7, write down your goals in their past tense. Right there. You see, when writing your goals, phrase it as if it has already happened. Don't say, I will buy a house. Say, I am grateful and happy that I now own a house. That's what I did if I buy property. Any property I buy, I always say, I'm grateful and happy that I now own the property. I get specific on the property. You will live in a world of past tense. It has already been done. It's not going to get done. God has already done it. God has already done it. Did you get that? And lastly, stay grateful. Stay grateful. Stay grateful. Be in a state of gratitude in all that you do. I keep a gratitude journal. I have journals as high as this. Every day, I write down what I'm grateful to God about. I've not done that today because of work, all of that. But after this Instagram live or this podcast, I will sit down, write 5 or 10 things that I'm grateful to God, about. I hope this was useful to you. I'd like for you to join my 5-day Make Sales Challenge. It's a webinar where I teach sales principles like this every single day for 5 days from October 1st to the 5th. It's 30,000 naira now to join the webinar. But if you wait till September, you pay 50,000 naira. September 20th and above, you pay 50,000 naira. So sign up now and join us in that class. You will be glad that you did. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, click on the subscribe button. If you're listening to this on Spotify, click on the subscribe button as well. Thank you so much, and may God bless and keep you. Do you have a question for me, those of you watching this on Instagram? I can stay a bit longer with you guys on Instagram. Any questions?